let's be straight up about this. I'm going to say all of us, we all were down, probably are still down to some degree on the Brian Schottenheimer hire. That's not breaking news. That's not uncovering new ground. Again, we all are in unison and in lockstep on this. That being said, we were down on it because of circumstances that had nothing to do with Brian Schottenheimer himself. Again, we're in unison and in lockstep on that. This is now his time. This is not his time to, I think it goes without saying we're all rooting for him. We all want this to work out as many, questions and issues as we had with the process, but we want it to work out. That much is incredibly obvious. And so that being said, I think that in his very limited time, speaking on Thursday as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, I think that Brian Schottenheimer kind of did well. I mean, that was a really cool thing to hear, that he calls people to learn. I mean, and this isn't, oh, he's better than Mike McCarthy at this, or he's better than Jason Garrett at this, or whatever. He's better than Sean McVay or whoever, Nick Sirianni. Blah, like this isn't a measurement of Nick Sirianni, of Brian Schottenheimer against anyone. This is just noting this is a cool thing that he does, and that is interesting. It seems he spoke, in my opinion, based on hearing his answers to a few different questions and prompts. He spoke with great reverence for being the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, for his current staff that he obviously assembled very meticulously. He spoke with reverence about the team's roster and the state and shape it's in, still ongoing state and shape. Obviously, there continue to be some reports that the Cowboys could get a deal done with Osa Odigizua at some point. But he spoke with reverence, and I think he also spoke with reverence. Well, I know he spoke with reverence for Pete Carroll. Man, if you took one thing away from all the Brian Schottenheimer quotes that were floating around on Thursday, it's that dude loves Pete Carroll. That dude will ride for Pete Carroll, and that's cool. That really is cool. I mean, look, I know that people who aren't connected to the Cowboys or who aren't a Cowboys fan or whatever, maybe look at him and say, well, his father was this great coach and blah, blah, blah. It's very, very obvious that Brian Schottenheimer has paid his dues and has learned. He actually said that outside of his father, that Pete Carroll is the coach who he reveres and respects the most because he learned a lot from him. And so it was a good Brian Schottenheimer day in that sense. That is really cool to hear about the process that goes into assembling his staff or learning about staffs, because you just never know. You never know when your day is going to come and you're going to be a head coach or you're going to be a coordinator. You're going to be in a position of authority and you can hire, you can call, you can make decisions, you can make moves, whatever the case may be. So that is very cool. I mean, does it mean anything? Can we predict the future? Can we say it's absolutely going to be a successful era and reign because of this? No, I don't think anybody's doing that. But I do think that it's fair to say he passed the first test. And I think we had questions as to whether that would even be possible or not. So in that particular sense, kudos.